little by little, I'm starting to improve my academic skills and also some other high-level skills like analyzing and interpreting.
That transition from being a primary school teacher into being a language teacher. There's a lot that you do in primary teaching that is transferable, but it's been that learning process of stepping back and saying, no, that doesn't apply in this case, and that turn into the language professional rather than the primary professional.
The international teaching experience that I have got, because like I used to teach only Spanish speakers, and now I'm able to teach people from all over the world.
Professionally, as a teacher, I was a little bit arrogant. I thought I was a really great teacher, back home in Colombia, and I kind of had a high opinion of myself. And one of the biggest changes that I felt I've experienced doing this MA TESOL is realizing that there's a lot to learn, there's a lot to improve, and there's still so much that I just didn't know and that I probably would have never thought of if I hadn't come here and done this MA TESOL. It's probably going to prompt a big change in my professional development, and I think it's going to be a positive change.
My capacity to analyze and reflect on the readings and on the debates we have in class with some other tutors or teachers, lecturers, and the classmates. It's an opportunity to improve myself professionally and personally as well.
To reconstruct my teacher identity, because it's not just that I was an English teacher before I came here, but it's also to be able to get all the knowledge that I'm been gaining here and then be able to put it into my teaching practice.
Most of my development so far has been a little bit academic. I feel like I had some shortcomings when it came to my academic performance, and I've tried to develop on those. But being an English teacher, a language teacher, having a better development academically, I think translates into being a better professional. So I'm guessing that if I do get some proper experience teaching after I completed the MA, what I learned here in terms of academic performance, writing, reading, being critical, being reflective, all of those are skills that are definitely going to be important for my future.
Now I feel like more confident about the different or the whole processes of learning and teaching a language. I feel more confident about that.
So I consider myself a teacher, but maybe I could answer in that I wanted at some point to go into policy making, into a Ministry of Education, and now I'm thinking the classroom is more sort of my thing, my cup of tea, what I enjoy, what I like. The lectures and the classes has not been what I expected, so I would say that was a very pleasant surprise. I kind of thought, MA in the UK, we're going to have a lecturer in a big auditorium and you sit and listen and take notes. But our classes has been very dynamic and very varied, so we have had discussions and things that feel like a project, or maybe even sometimes classes feel like a chat with friends over tea rather than actually coming to sit on a lecture and listen to an expert give his opinions. So I would say the fact that this has been designed in a surprising way that is very engaging and interesting.
Maybe the amount of autonomy that there is on the course, I maybe expected to be a little bit, there to be a lot more direct lecturing and discussion groups, and actually I was surprised by the amount of learner autonomy that is demanded from an MA course in general actually.
It's more like independent work. I'm not saying that is something negative about the program. I'm just saying is you need to be an autonomous learner. You need to be able to do your work if you wanted to do it.
Some others focus their classes on research and science, so that was very unexpected, because I was expecting all the lecturers to be focused on education, but at the same time that is good because you can have a wider point of view.
A little unexpected for me was I kind of was expecting the placements to be easy to get, and the realization that you need permits and special things and considerations for everything. But when I actually got to go and first-hand experience what it is to teach in the UK in this context where it's completely different from what I'm used to in Colombia, I think that's one of the things that has impacted me the most. Going to a language institution, sitting in on classes, helping on classes, and understanding the uniqueness of actually teaching English in an Anglo sort of context.
The unexpected was good because it made me, like for example, the learning autonomy that I was talking about. It made me more autonomous about my own work. It made me work harder than if I was doing all like more hours of teaching.